Bossy, maintain your position, over.
At 5:20 p.m., Radio Man Baker began to realize that Flight 19 were closer to home than they thought.
I just turned down power.
Don't seem to be getting very far.
FT-28, this is Port Everglades. How do you read me, over?
Port Everglades, this is it. FT-28 to Port Everglades.
Listen, Baker, if I am that close to you, I should be able to see land.
You might not sight land if you're parallel to us, or... Sir, please, you have
Enough fuel to reach us. Just keep flying toward me.
Baker, I don't think this is the right direction. How long have we been going in this direction? Where in the hell are we? Okay, guys.
When the first man gets down to 10 gallons of gas, we'll all ditch in the water together.
This is Port Everglades. FT-28, do you read me, over? Foxterre 28, do you read me, over? Oh, come on.
Nothing was ever heard from them again. The final twist to the mystery that night came when a Martin Mariner rescue plane set out to look for them. 27 minutes later, it too vanished into thin air. Coast Guard, the largest and busiest in the world. Phil wants to know how it's possible Flight 19 could have disappeared without a trace. Why no bodies and no wreckage were ever found. Were they looking in the wrong place, or was there something else? Commander Bazzano may have the answers.
So if you take it back to 1945,
yes,
we had no technology,
right,
probably 200 miles offshore. You had a rough sea, rain showers, completely overcast.
Very difficult.
Any chance of finding?
Very difficult, yes. Just to give you some perspective, just of today, even if we do our search as perfectly as we possibly can in the most benign weather conditions, flat seas, no wind, perfect search conditions for the aircraft and crew, our best percentage of finding someone, what we call a probability of detection, is 78%.
The Coast Guard have devised a potentially dangerous exercise in order to demonstrate how difficult it is to find anyone or anything at sea.
Search conditions today are pretty much ideal. Pretty much light winds, seas are probably about 2 feet or less. Excellent visibility.
A second helicopter is about to drop an experienced swimmer in the water. In a few minutes, they'll see if they can find him again.
What we'll do is we'll kind of go out about 200 yards off to the left of them there. And then we'll go up and we'll see how close we have to be to actually find them.
Going down. Going down.
Those aircraft would have sunk very quickly. Essentially, if you're not looking in the first hour of them being reported lost and having an asset on scene, they're essentially looking for persons in the water.
It's very difficult to see something as small as a person. Think about maybe a soccer ball or a basketball. You're looking basically for something that size. Their head sticking out of the water. It's all you can really see. If you you don't know exactly where the person is, I don't want to say it's impossible, but it's extremely difficult to find somebody, and especially at night.
The Gulf Stream runs up between Grand Bahama Island and the Florida coast. In some cases, that's a 6-knot current. 6 knots is 6 miles, essentially nautical miles per hour. So every hour, that piece of water that somebody may be stuck on is moving 6 miles every hour. So you can imagine after 12 hours how quickly it moves up. We're talking 80 miles or so already, that it's moved just in 12 hours.
With only 30 minutes of fuel left and the current pulling the swimmer further north every minute, the pressure's on. But at least this time they know roughly where he is.
You can barely see the man like this, and he's wearing an orange neoprene suit and a big old snorkel on top. And basically you need to fly right over top of him to be able to see him. At nighttime it'd be almost impossible, I would say, to see him unless you had an extremely bright moon on flat seas. Right. Swimmer's approaching the basket. Swimmer getting into the basket. Left. Swimmer's approaching the cabin door. Swimmer's in the cabin door.
A successful recovery. But back in 1945, the weather was bad. For 6 days, the largest air-sea rescue since the war searched in vain. Nothing was ever found.
I'm not surprised they disappeared without a trace, because that does happen occasionally here for people that we try to go look for. Sometimes we don't find anybody, even to this day. But if the weather conditions are as bad as described to me, then there'd probably be very little evidence of any kind of debris field or oil slick on the surface of the water even an hour after the incident took place.
So even today, the chances of finding anyone alive or any evidence of Flight 19 would be slim. But it's still not enough to explain why the flight went so badly wrong. Phil is convinced there is something else.
Okay, low down under the stern, you can just see the props in the gloom.
4 miles out to sea, Graham has found a strange wreck. It's not clear how she got here.
Okay, coming up, take a look at the top of the bow.
Many who know these waters believe